Hey y'all, so let's chat about this post. I think, of course, as a woman initially seeing that post, I was annoyed. Because I'm like, what? Of course, our clothes do not dictate how we should be treated, right? Immediately I'm looking at the comments and women are in there, letting him know that it's not okay what he's pretty much alluding to. But what I think is really interesting is as I start going through the comments and I start seeing him kind of re-explain himself, I truly was able to understand the point he was trying to make. And I think a part of that is just, as a therapist, I have to be able to kind of peel back layers on how something may be initially presented to really understand the meat of what's there. Sometimes we read things, especially because this is a very sensitive topic in this moment. Super sensitive. Everybody has something to say, and women are we're on the defense because we want to continue to advocate for consent and to stop making excuses for inappropriate behavior. So the first comment that I saw that came from a woman on the post was like, great message, wrong timing. And even then I was still like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I realized why I didn't really like it at first off back. It's because one, who the message is coming from. So that guy, he posts a lot of things about women, and usually in a derogatory or a negative light. That's just the reality. A lot of his posts are targeted towards women, and it doesn't really speak to us in the most positive way. So that's number one. Two, tone and language. So the fact that you're already using the word bitch in this post will make a lot of women check out automatically, because we're going to automatically assume that you do not have the proper respect for women, because look at how you're referring to us in this post. And again, tone. So the way in which everything was worded, and it just felt very like you and you want us to do this and you want us to play Superman. And what I'm gonna say is, I feel like because of all those factors, the message of what he was really trying to relay was missed. And I want to do a better job for women explaining what he's saying as far as the good parts of it. So as I start reading through the comments and stuff like that, I was able to see kind of the point that he was making, which is, at the end of the day, there is a lot of evil in this world. A lot of evil. There is nothing we can do about the fact that there are fucked up people in this world that are going to do very fucked up things. And that's in any type of arena, any country, any race. That's just the world we live in. So for him, he's advocating for women doing what we can to try to protect ourselves, not to absolve anybody of any wrongdoing, but the things in which we can control, because that's all we can worry about, what we can control. And that's why, the whole clothing thing gets brought up, right? And of course, that's a sensitive topic, so you don't want to say, oh, women can't wear what they want to wear, or we want to keep saying women should be able to wear what they want to wear. Yes, but the key word there is should. In our reality, that is just not the case. And I will also say that context matters. So the something that I would wear in Miami, it's a good chance I wouldn't wear it out in Chicago, because look at the culture of Miami. It's different. So now we're speaking on environments, cultures, and context. So that's one piece of it. As well as, let's just be 100. Let's keep it a buck. We know as women, women, we're going to get attention either way. So let me start off there. We're going to get attention whether we go out in sweats or a bikini. If you're attractive, you're attractive. Men are not going to see past that. What can we do to divert some of that attention is what he's saying. or to not make ourselves look like prey. And when we talk about this in the context of this topic, as far as what women should wear and how to protect ourselves, it sounds bad because of the place that we're in society and the hypersensitivity of the topic. But when he started to rephrase it in another way, then the defense came down. So think about it like this. We should be able to go to any neighborhood in our nice clothes and our jewelry and our designers and not have to worry about getting robbed. But there are fucked up people out here who will rob you. So when we apply that logic, we can understand that. But then again, when we hear male or see a male trying to apply that same logic to what we wear, the message is not received the same. And again, a lot of that has to do with who it's coming from. So me as a woman, I'm going to say, yes, I'm not going to go out with my nipples out because I know that it's going to draw some unwanted attention. Will it the same thing happen when I have on sweats? Yes, but why would I put myself in the position to have to pretty much look like prey? Because I'm seeing the same in the same scenario of being in a bad neighborhood or whatever. Or even when you go out of town, when you go to another country and you do the all-inclusive resorts and shit, and you want to go venture out with the locals, the first thing they tell you is don't wear anything flashy because it makes you a target. And so in that same breath, we can apply that to anything else. Sometimes the things that we put out there or the way that we act or the way that we dress can make us a target. And then sometimes we could do everything right and we can still be a target. So I think we have to understand both sides of the coin. Do I think he was right in everything that he said? Absolutely not. Because I definitely don't understand how black women saying we want black men to speak up for us and to look out for us, how that relates to, oh well, if I tell you not to wear something and then you wear it and then you get assaulted, that's on you. No, that correlation, that connection is very wrong. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what things lead up to certain things, to certain actions being done. So I'm speaking as women. That's why we always grew up, when you start going out and socializing and stuff, your people tell you, don't sit your drink down. Because we know that there are predators out here. But again, when you receive that, when a man tries to send that message, it's not going to probably be received well. So that a part of what I want to say is, men, if you want to speak to black women and want to be heard and for it to be receptive, you have to think about the way in which you are conveying your message, the language in which you are using. Because, and I think that's with anything. Like, if you want to speak to a certain population and you want them to understand where you're coming from, you can't use language that sounds like you're attacking them. If you know something is sensitive, you have to use sensitive language. It's blunt and as honest as people say they want to be, but then don't get mad when you get backlash or people aren't understanding where you're coming from because you didn't articulate yourself in a way in which your message could be truly heard. Which is that in any realm of life, including women going out, we have to protect ourselves. We like to live in neighborhoods where we can leave our doors open, but we don't. And so I think for women, yes, we can protest, we can advocate, we can bring awareness, we can teach and do all of this stuff around consent in women's bodies and not policing them and all of that. We can do that. And we also have to consider the true state of the world in which we live in. So yes, you can go out in a sheer top with your nipples out and in a skinny tight dress, or in a short ass skirt. You can do that. Yes, you have the right to do that, baby girl. And you also have to consider the type of attention that you're going to get because of that and how you can protect yourself. Because again, the sensitivity of this topic is hard. It's hard to understand both sides of the coin, especially when you did everything right and you've still been a victim. I've been in a position where I've been assaulted and it wasn't a perfect storm. I was in the right environment, I was doing the right things, and I got too drunk. And I can accept the fact that if I had been more coherent, I could have done more to protect myself. That's all I'm saying. And I know that multiple women learn from their experiences and learn to be able to know that at the end of the day, it's fucked up people in this world. Let me be clear about something. Me being able to take a smidge of accountability as far as my own actions it's never gonna absolve an abuser for what they did. Ever. They're still wrong. I don't care how drunk I was. I don't care how high, how anything that somebody is, it doesn't absolve the fact that that shit was wrong. And I knew moving forward that I needed to make sure that I was doing everything that I could to never be in the position to be taken advantage of. And I don't want this to be misconstrued. Victim blaming is never a thing on this page. I tell my clients all the time, I don't give a damn what you did. That person was still wrong. They were still wrong. But a part of being an adult is being able to acknowledge when you didn't always make the best decisions. So again, it's not so black and white. Oh, you do this and oh, you get assaulted. And that's what I think women are trying to portray, is it's not that easy. However, again, we can relook at our own behavior and our own doing to see how we can prevent in the future. At the end of the day, niggas gon' nig. We know this. And so that is why we do what we can to prevent or protect ourselves. But again, that does not absolve somebody of their wrongdoing. If I know it's late, I'm not gonna pull up to a gas station in my club outfit, because I know it's going to warrant attention from a group of niggas that I don't feel like dealing with. So I think it's wrong to try to pretty much connect the fact that, oh, wearing something equals you might get assaulted. That's not okay. That's not what we're saying. We're saying in general, as people and as women, what can we do to look out for ourselves? And it starts with all these little things, unfortunately. But I want men to understand that we could do everything right and the shit would still happen. But again, when you want to relay a certain message, you have to think about who you're speaking to and how it's going to be received and how you should cater that message to them. Because the way in which the post was written, it wasn't empathetic, it wasn't sensitive. And that is why when you initially read it as a woman, you're like, that's harsh. Like, think about the shit that's happening. We now more than ever do need black men to protect us, because we feel like we protect y'all to no avail. But to say, oh, well, you chose to wear this and you knew what it was going to happen when you wore it, and I'm not going to protect you because of that, that's bullshit. That part is bullshit. Because you don't know nobody's story. You don't know nobody's journey. And again, you could do everything right and still be a victim. Because there are, at the end of the day, it's fucked up people in this world. So that's all I got on this. I just really want people, especially now in the state that we're in, as far as like the content that we have going around every other week, it seems like we talking about assault and all of that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to spread an unpopular message. I know that. But it's about how you do it. If you want it to be received in the way in which you intend for it to be received. Because of course, it was women on that post. Oh, so what do we do about 6-year-olds who are molested? You know, we took it there and he started, y'all calling me a rapist, y'all calling me, that's what you're not gonna do. The whole purpose and message was missed because of the way in which he spoke about it. So I'm here to say, yes, ladies, we have to do everything that we can in our power to protect ourselves from being targets. Whatever that looks like to you. Not what men say it should look like. Whatever that looks like to you. Whether that be you carrying mace or a pocket knife when you wear your little skirts. Do something. That's what I'm saying, is do what you can. Don't go out here and be naive and think that, you know, because the world should be a certain way, that everybody's gonna abide by what that should is. Okay? So y'all have a good one. This was a cute little chat. Hope I didn't shake the table too much. If I did, oh well. Good talk.